What's new in the wizarding world?
Princess Bear, here today we find ourselves on Islands of Adventure. It's time to return to the place with the snow-capped rooftops.
Going to Hogsmeade.
Yes, some new things have popped up that we want to check out. As your number one choice of foodie infotainment, we're here to try all the spells so you don't have to. Remember, she's vegan. I'm not. I will not let her turn me into a toad.
It's time to foodie and chill.
Universal Studios, you need somebody taking better photos of your food in the app, or you need to make them closer to the actual what you're going to get on your plate, because expectation versus reality, this looks like some off-the-shelf canned potato and leek soup. It does not look aesthetically pleasing, if you will. We were curious if this was going to be vegan. We did check with the allergy chef. This does have dairy in it, so none for the princess. So I'm going to take one for the team. I did take a magic pill. I do smell the leek. There are no chunks of potatoes in here. It is just like pureed potato with leek in it. It tastes like potato and leek soup. It tastes like an all-palace potato leek soup. It feels like you could use some pepper, some garlic, something. It's just not, it's not given. If you're feeling cold, you want something to warm you up, you have this, but it's just not given excitement on my insides. Now, I do have the option for a pumpkin soup as well, but I'm not a huge pumpkin fan. Maybe one day I'll try that one. This one, I'm giving a 2.75 out of 5 claws. I do get a biscuit with it. That is not confidence-inspiring bread, but we're going to dip it. Maybe we'll improve the flavor, the flavor. Doubtful. All nice and soaked in there. That is drier than a Popeye's biscuit. You definitely need the soup if you want to eat that. It tastes fine. It's a powdery biscuit, but it is dry. Drier than your phone right now. It needs the soup. Doesn't change the rating. I'm still giving a 2.75 out of 5 claws. Probably won't order it again.
The shepherd's pie has been on the menu at Three Broomsticks for quite some time. We have reviewed it twice already. The shepherd's pie is still on the menu, but they have now added the shepherd's pie into a potato jacket. This is the thing that we've been asking for at studios for a while. We have a beautiful shepherd's pie innards, and then it's topped with a vegan mozzarella. I do wish that there was HP sauce, because they removed the HP sauce a couple years ago, and I think that would be perfect on this dish right now. So it's very disappointing to me that I do not have that to put that on here. I do have pocket parm, but I don't think I'm going to need it because they give me vegan mozz. Now, just opening her up here, it's like literally just almost is giving like the innards of the pasty pie that you can get at Magical Neep and Hopping Pot, basically just on top of the potato. And I was kind of expecting the shepherd's pie piece to be a little, I don't know, more liquidy, I suppose. It seems to be a little chunky, which is not really how I imagine shepherd's pie to be. I'm still struggling over here. This is not easy. I guess I'm just gonna settle for this bite. So that is literally like the shepherd's pie that they have here, but on potato. It's also giving the same shepherd's pie that they used to serve. I don't know, Finnegan's is closing, but Finnegan's had a shepherd's pie as well, and it tasted frozen. For like freezer burn, and I think every single time I've had it since 2020, it has tasted freezer burn. So not my favorite. I don't like this. I like the potato and I like the concept. I love the cheese. I don't like the crumbles. I think it needs to be saucier on a potato. And I know it's saucier when it's served like in the shepherd's pie form. So I don't understand why it's so dry in a jacket potato. I think there's room for improvement, and I'm sure they will improve on it in the future. But for this specific potato, I'm going to give it a 2.75 out of 5 jacket potatoes. I do think it tastes better than the ones that you can get from the London Taxi, where it's just like beans or broccoli, but the beans in that has like enough liquid to kind of like soak into the baked potato, which is what really makes it like delicious, because you want like a flavor sauce on your potato, and that is what's missing in this. It just needs that extra little bit of sauce, and then it'll be like probably a 4 or 5.
I have no English, no Irish background whatsoever that I'm aware of. But shepherd's pie is probably one of my favorite things to make at home. It's one of like the first vegan things I made for the princess when she was like, we were experimenting with like alt meat in the beginning. This is not given shepherd's pie. Just because you put, alt meat into a potato with peas and carrots and cheese does not shepherd's pie make. I feel like if it's going to be like a shepherd's pie potato, you at least need to puree up some of the potato into like a mashed potato and then hollow out potato and then put that back in there. As it is, it's just a potato with stuff on top. Calling it a shepherd's pie potato almost feels borderline disrespectful. But let me get off my soapbox and actually try it before I rip it a new one. Not that I still won't rip it a new one anyway, but So you have plenty of peas. I don't feel like the pea to carrot ratio is great. I think these are Beyond Crumbles. They taste freezer burned. Like the freeziest of freezer burn, not just like it's been in the freezer too long, but like it's been in the freezer, you opened it, took some out, attempted to reclose it, didn't close it properly. I taste more freezer than I do Beyond Meat, and that is not easy to do. The cheese isn't really melty. The peas and carrots, they're there, but they don't really add anything. Shepherd's pie is supposed to be borderline casserole. It is technically a casserole. And to just put shepherd's pie toppings in a potato, it's just toppings on a potato. This is not shepherd's pie. If we were judging this just based off shepherd's pie, this would be a complete fail. Judging it as a potato, it's a basic fail because it's just not cooked enough. It's sad and not tasty. Vegans, I don't often say this to you because you don't get very many options. If you get this and it looks like it's not cooked enough, you should either send it back or not order it at all. Give that 1.5 out of 5 claws.
I just want to say, thank goodness I brought pocket parm, because if I didn't, I would have a whole half of a potato with nothing on it. I could put salt and pepper on the table, no HP sauce, but I have pocket parm. So that's how little shepherd's pie innards they give you. You don't even have enough for half a potato. Take that for what you will. I would say if you want shepherd's pie and you don't want to eat it here, like you don't want a shepherd's pie, instead of getting the jacket potato here, go get the pasty pie. Get like 2 of those. That would be better. Or just go over to Leeky and get a pasty over there if you have a park hopper, because that's better than this.
So for the sake of comparison, I decided to get the actual shepherd's pie on the menu because I honestly have not had it here before. Now they do have a vegan shepherd's pie, which we have had before. And then I can also get this shepherd's pie, non-vegan, on a potato. But I wanted to try, do they even know how to make shepherd's pie? Where was my mind went? So you do get shepherd's pie. It's in a bowl, but it's also in like a little pie tin. So you have nice toasted mashed potatoes on top. We're just going to go ahead and dive right in the center here. And see, this is what I expect. It is filled with mashed potatoes. There is meat at the very bottom. Nice ground beef. There's some potato in there. There's a little bit of like the juice, which would normally be like the fat of the beef mixed with some Worcestershire and some other things. Depending on your region and how you make your shepherd's pie, you might add in some like tomato sauce or tomato paste. There are different ways. But this does at least look like shepherd's pie. Plenty of Worcestershire. I would say the ratio to filling and mashed potato is off, but this is in fact shepherd's pie. What I expected in the potato was this in the potato, including the mash, with a more moist beef and things mixed in like innards of a shepherd's pie and less just toppings on a shepherd's pie. This is tasty and better than I would expect from like theme park shepherd's pie, but it is in fact qualified. It's tasty, it's warm, it's a good hearty meal that would fill me up for most of the day, especially on a cold day. I would give this 3.75 out of 5 claws. It's not memorable. I wouldn't tell you to come here just for this. But if you're craving shepherd's pie and you were here, I don't think you would be upset by ordering it, at the very least.
If you watched our Universal holiday crawl, you saw that the cold apple cider was vegan. So now we've gotten the hot apple cider, which is vegan and confirmed by our friend Shelby at Universal Orlando Vegans. But in addition to the beautiful hot apple cider, no honey, beautiful vegan, like I said, we spiked it. So Fireball Whiskey is also vegan, so we added the Fireball Whiskey here to the hot apple cider. Now, regular Fireball Whiskey is not vegan, so it's rare places like Universal where I can actually have a cinnamon tinge to my drink that is spiked. It's more on the apple than it is on that like cinnamon twist, and then there's like an anise on top, so that really like helps bring out that like spiced flavor to it. I love that. I think I would enjoy it whether it's spiked or not. It's just a beautiful hot apple cider. We have a video coming up. Please go watch that video when it comes out, where I did get to get an apple cider. That is our annual Christmas tree crawls coming out soon. Please go watch that. We worked really hard on that, but I had a really good apple cider on that crawl, and I think this one actually rivals that one. So I think whether or not you go to Disney or Universal, you're going to find a delicious vegan hot apple cider, and that's perfect for the holidays or otherwise. It's not cold often in Florida, so it's nice to have something hot when you can, but when you can't,
I will take an apple cider, anything but a hot apple cider, and then a spiked apple cider. Well, now you have my attention. With the little apple slice in here, the anise on top, a special little cup. Apparently, you can order a spiced cider without, and it'll come up on the ticket as a mocktail. We did almost order that before we saw this one. So if you have a desire for a non-alcoholic spiced cider, you can do that. We were just tempted by whiskey, as all things. Tasty, warm. I am a cinnamon whiskey hater, but mixed into things, given the right balance of additions, I will tolerate it. Many bad years of Fireball have turned me off. Fire whiskey is tolerable. This I can do. 4.25 out of 5 claws. We've given Universal a lot of props since adding the non-dairy butterbeer to Universal Parks. My issues is sometimes how difficult or how many hoops you got to jump through in order to get that. Here at Three Broomsticks, you can ordinarily order the non-dairy butterbeer in a souvenir stein. There's not even an option to order it by itself. In addition, I can't order that hot. I can only order the standard one.
hot's not needed.
Well, that's a problem. So I got the hot butterbeer. The dairy included version. A little foam on top. It is warm. Not as warm as the cider was, but it feels warm, but, you know. Tastes like hot butterscotch and cream. It really tastes like a hot cream soda with foam on top. Maybe a little sprinkle of like a butterscotch syrup in there. But it's good. I wish there was some fire whiskey in this. I would give this a 3.75 out of 5 claws.
Where does it rank in your butterbeer love?
Hot butterbeer is still bottom tier for me. Even if the temperatures dip here in Florida, frozen butterbeer is king to me. Then regular butterbeer, and then hot butterbeer. Butterbeer ice cream doesn't even rank. I think we swept the floor with that place.
I think that the menu updates are not that great.
Yeah, the new plant-based option is, well, in short, awful and terrible. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Don't get that.
I would say if I had to choose between 3 Broomsticks and Leaky Cauldron, I would pick Leaky Cauldron all day, every day.
I think that's a fair assessment. Maybe it'll get better over time, but right now it's got some serious execution problems, both freezer burn beyond Crumbles, and just like a not well cooked enough potato.
No.
It is not shepherd's pie. It's just a potato.
It's not London Taxi either. Definitely needs studios.
I would honestly prefer a London Taxi potato over that.
Yes.
But we come here to try these things again, so you don't have to. But we want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about the menu items that you've seen? Is this whetting your appetite to want to come here and eat where the 3 and Broomsticks meet? Let us know in the comments below. Now, as always, if there's anything else you see us do, that will always be the place to find us. Hit the notification bell if you want to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, I think Bear might yeet himself into a J.K. Rowling fan. And not that he would actually physically yeet himself into a fan, he would become a fan of her antics. And nobody wants that. So comment so he doesn't eat himself into one of them.
I was actually just thinking about training a pod of orcas and then riding them to destroy her yacht, but yeah, we can do that too. But you heard the girl.